take a live look out of the Alamo City. All right, not too much to look at right now, but these last couple days, gorgeous. Ursula, did you make it out and about?
Oh, of course. I was riding horses yesterday as the sun broke out from the clouds. Stunning day. Thank you so much, Justin.
It is nice. I think the only complaint I've been hearing is that it's a little humid. It is, but you can't complain with these temperatures. They really are fantastic. We're in the 70s right now. Hey, we got to rewind a little bit. I want to show you a picture on our KSAT Connect. And, listen, we tell you to send in pictures of anything. So this is pictures of food being cooked yesterday, grilling some wings for the Dallas game, chicken wings and eagle wings. Didn't work out so well. No comments, Max?
I mean, look, you call it a Dallas game, but it was really the Philadelphia game.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right.
He's distanced himself.
Those look tasty, though. Thank you for sending that in. Let's take a look at the temperatures across the country. 70s here across the state. Really the only cold stuff, you're going to have to go up to the Pacific Northwest, 49 Seattle, 56 in Portland, and they have a storm system moving in. But you can kind of see the pattern we have across the country right now. Everything's just moving kind of west to east. You don't have the big dips in temperature, at least not yet. This next system will draw down some cooler air to Texas, but it takes until Thursday for that to happen. Across Texas right now, we've got 70s and 80s and even closing in on 90 down there in Corpus Christi and down in the Valley. 80 at 2 o'clock. We'll be up around 82 this afternoon, down into the 70s tonight and 60s by tomorrow morning. A lot of humidity, as I said, that'll lead to some fog. We'll take a look at the fog forecast and time out that cold front for you once again here in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Justin. It's been just about 5 weeks since that attack on Israel from the terrorist organization Hamas. And since then, Israel has retaliated, including a ground offensive into Gaza.
That's right. ABC's Inez de la Clatera with how Israel has divided its efforts in Gaza in two directions to root out the attackers from 5 weeks ago and how civilians are trapped in the middle.
A military cargo plane from Jordan airdropping urgent medical aid to a field hospital in Gaza. King Abdullah saying his country will always be there for our Palestinian brethren. The airdrop done in coordination with Israeli forces, meant to make up for delays moving supplies through the Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt. Israel's defense forces claim they have encircled Gaza City, saying today there is Gaza North and Gaza South. The IDF dropped leaflets urging the Palestinian people to head south, and Sunday hundreds of them appeared to be doing just that, walking down Gaza's main north-south highway. In just 4 weeks, the Hamas-run health ministry says over 10,000 Palestinian men, women, and children have been killed as Israel conducts its military response to the deadly Hamas terror attacks it claims killed more than 1,400 in Israel. According to Israeli officials, the IDF says Hamas is still holding about 240 people hostage. Hamas claiming at least 60 hostages have died as a result of Israeli bombing. American officials unable to verify those reports.
They're coming directly from Hamas, and we believe they should be taken with a grain of salt.
As the Arab world calls for a ceasefire, Secretary of State Antony Blinken in the region once more making a surprise visit to the West Bank, where he met with the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas before heading to Baghdad and Turkey.
We discussed the crisis in Gaza, and including the efforts to significantly expand humanitarian assistance to people in need, efforts to prevent the conflict from spreading to other parts of the region.
Turkey and Jordan have joined a growing list of countries that have recalled their ambassadors to Israel over the rising death toll of Palestinian civilians since the Jewish state responded to the Hamas attack. Blinken said every country wants the U.S. to play a leading role in diplomacy, but he had little success in his efforts to get Israel to agree to a humanitarian pause to get more aid into Gaza. Inez de la Clatera, ABC News, Jerusalem.
More than $16 billion in funding being set aside by the White House. It's to improve the Amtrak train line. That money will fund upwards of 24 projects, including repairing aging bridges and tunnels in need of replacement. The biggest chunk's going to be for the underwater train tunnels connecting New York and New Jersey.
Parents, listen up. Tyson Foods recalling about 30,000 pounds of chicken nuggets. Now, the company said it was voluntarily pulling the nuggets after some people reported finding small pieces of metal inside the patties. Specifically, the recall is for the 29-ounce plastic bag packages containing frozen but fully cooked breaded nuggets that are shaped like chicken patties. Packaging includes a best used by date of September 4th, 2024. Well, back here in Texas, the 30-day special session here in Texas starting to wrap up. Now, lawmakers have failed, specifically over the weekend, to discuss House Bill 4, resulting in more tension between Republicans of our state. It now leaves little time to take up the school choice legislation as well.
So an optimist might say negotiations move forward, but we simply ran out of time. A pessimist would say, if anything, the animosity among the negotiators has grown more acute, not less.
So there is infighting in the Republican Party of Texas, and some of his strongest words against House Speaker Dade Phelan. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick writes that the speaker has become nothing more than hot air. Now, the speaker obviously having to fire back, calling the lieutenant governor and his comments a desperate bid to salvage what's left of his credibility on border security. In a tweet, Dan Patrick saying he would support having the next special session on February 5th, 30 days before the primary elections. But the governor chiming in saying, quote, "We are on track to ensure there will not be another special session," end quote.
Construction in Converse is causing an expensive headache for the animal shelter there. The Converse Animal Shelter is a nonprofit and they rely heavily on donations. The construction, though, is making it hard for people to come by the shelter. And the shelter is having to move their entrance to make it easier for people to get in. And this is costing them $11,000.
I don't think they know how much this has impacted us. We've had a drop in donations and adoptions. It's really hard for people to get out here.
The assistant city manager says the Converse Animal Shelter is welcome to call him. He also mentioned the option of going to speak with the shelter administrators. So far, though, the animal shelter says that has not happened.
Well, Wurstfest kicked off over the weekend. Officials say they are doing everything they can do to keep their guests safe. Now, the president of Wurstfest, David Huddleston, said they have technology in place ensuring that each guest is not bringing anything into Wurstfest that could do harm to someone else. Last month, remember, there was the shooting at the Texas State Fair, and it sent attendees running in fear. So Huddleston, he says they took what happened there as an opportunity to learn and run new safety scenarios, making sure it doesn't happen at Wurstfest.
Reuse that as a practice lesson here and went over various procedures and what to do in response. And we are using the latest in technology. It's not the old thing where it just sets it off if there's something there. Now it'll encapsulate and show you a picture of the guy and where it is on their body.
Huddleston says they're also partnering with the local law enforcement agencies in addition to their own security committee, making sure every night is just as safe as the one before.
Saw that guy doing flips?
Yeah, that didn't seem very safe.
Still ahead, the University of Michigan football team under scrutiny for allegedly stealing signs. How this could impact head coach Jim Harbaugh's future on the team.
Some of these schemes were pretty egregious, too. There was a camera and a eyeglasses. It's crazy. Plus, what you can do, how you can step up and help out 500 kids trying to stay warm this coming winter. Welcome back. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office releasing new information on 2 different child safe cases.
We're going to take a look live into the press conference that's going on at the moment. Sheriff Javier Salazar talking about the first case involving a 1-year-old baby who suffered massive burns. Salazar saying boiling water was either allegedly poured onto the baby or somehow it fell on her. The parents did not seek medical attention, though, and they allegedly injected her with drugs. Our Courtney Freeman is at this press conference. She's going to bring you more details on the case, including the second case that the sheriff is discussing as well this evening. We felt it last week. Winter is coming, and here in San Antonio, an organization is making sure that kids will be able to stay warm for the next cold fronts.
That's true. United Way hosting their 9th annual Project Warmth Coat Drive. So their goal, get at least 500 coats donated before Thanksgiving. All the coats that are donated, they're going to families that work with United Way.
It's going to help countless families, and it's going to provide them, a little bit of comfort during the next couple months.
Donations will be accepted through November 21st. Several local coffee shops in and around our area. That includes Starbucks at the Quarry, Early Bird Coffee on I-10, Almost Perk on McCullough. If you have any questions, where, how, what to donate, we have all those answers. Just head to KSAT.com.
I'm really hopeful we don't need big coats for a while. I'm really enjoying these mild temperatures.
Yeah, it's our sweet spot time of year where we get these really comfortable readings. I do think we'll get some cooler weather by the end of the week, but I'm not so sure it'll be big coat weather. It'll just be kind of light jacket weather, perhaps. 77 so far today. 66 was the low this morning. Records are 91 and 32. So yes, we can get down to freezing this time of year. However, we don't have any freezing temperatures in the forecast. We'll take a look at that 7-day for you coming up.
Now to the cheating scandal rocking one of the nation's top college football teams. The University of Michigan staffer at the center of that allegation has now resigned. The school facing an NCAA investigation. ABC's DeMarco Morgan has more.
The Michigan Wolverines still undefeated after their sizable victory against Purdue over the weekend.
Yes, sir. Donovan Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
But the future of their top-ranked football program and head coach Jim Harbaugh is uncertain. The university under increasing pressure by the Big Ten, frustrated with the pace of the NCAA's investigation into an alleged sign-stealing scandal.
What has coaches so angry around the Big Ten is that there's a significant advantage to knowing the signal.
It comes in the wake of University of Michigan football analyst Connor Stalions' recent departure. ESPN sources say Stalions bought tickets to over 30 games with teams on Michigan's schedule. They say he then paid people to attend the games and record coaching signals. In a statement to The Athletic, Stalions saying, "I do not want to be a distraction from what I hope to be a championship run for the team." His attorney adding to Stalions' knowledge, neither Coach Harbaugh nor any other coach or staff member told anyone to break any rules or were aware of improper conduct. Harbaugh also denies any wrongdoing or knowledge of it.
That was DeMarco Morgan reporting.
I will say Michigan playing Penn State this weekend, and as a Penn State alum, can't say enough things. Justin Horn, what's your thought on all
But
this?
he's not going to say anything.
Well,
He's going to keep it safe and clean.
I guarantee you Penn State will have their play calls very well hidden. I'll say that much.
What do you mean by that?
Exactly. Anyway, temperatures in San Antonio today up around 82. That's what we're looking for a high. Most places will be the low 80s, a few upper 70s as you get up into the hill country. This is pretty average, what you would expect this time of year. 77 right now, mostly cloudy. South-southwesterly winds at 14. We are getting some gusts now up above 20 miles per hour. So it will be a little bit breezy today. That southerly wind still trying to usher in some good moisture. We've got dew points in the 60s now, and these numbers will climb. It'll be humid next couple of days. That'll lead to some morning clouds and fog. Then we'll get a front through on Thursday, and it knocks dew points back down. Could also lead to some rain too, which is fantastic news. Futurecast fog does show that by tomorrow morning, this is 7 o'clock, we'll see some patchy fog around the area. So just be aware of that if you're going to be traveling early. Like the last few days, it won't last very long. Water vapor imagery shows we've got a nice plume of Pacific moisture spreading over top of us. This kind of milky white color here represents that high level moisture. We'll still see some sun today. It's just like yesterday where the sun will be peeking through some of those higher thin clouds. And then as we look up to the north and west, you see the spin here. That's our next storm system. It's not necessarily going to move through, but it helps to push a front through, and that's what's going to give us our rain chance. So as we look at the futurecast here, this moves east. We've got the Pacific moisture coming in, good Gulf moisture. Those three things combined with frontal boundary. So I like the looks of this as far as the setup goes. And by 6 p.m. on Thursday, we're probably looking at some showers and storms. The rain chances continue over into Thursday night, Friday morning, and then I think by Friday afternoon the rain chances go away, but we'll be left with cloud cover, cooler weather, and Friday's going to be windy. Just a heads up there. Could impact some Friday night football. As we look at the rainfall potential, highest numbers are going to be across our eastern counties, where I think we could pick up 1 to 3 inches, and it looks like they've raised our opportunity maybe to get a little more rain here in San Antonio on the order of 1/4 to 1/2 inch. So we'll be watching for that. Again, rain chances are actually pretty good with this. I just don't know that we're going to see a ton of rain out of it. 85 Tuesday, 84 Wednesday. Morning clouds and fog both days. And then cloudy on Thursday, 60% chance of rain, mainly late in the day, then a 40% chance early in the day on Friday, much cooler, 62 and windy. And then by the weekend, we'll be looking at mostly cloudy skies and highs in the 60s.
Thank you, Justin.
We got a lot coming up here on the news at noon. A sneak peek at Netflix's latest thriller and when you're going to be able to watch. That's after the break. Welcome back. A lot of entertainment news to talk about. We have a holiday-themed podcast, a high-flying action flick, and of course, our producer, Haley, very excited about this, new Taylor Swift updates.
Here's David Daniel with the Holiday Minute.
Cherry lips, crystal skies, I could show you incredible things.
Taylor Swift has outdone herself yet again. 1989 Taylor's version tops the Billboard 200 with her best first week tally for an album ever. Billboard says it's the biggest first week for any album since another disc named for a number, Adele's 25, nearly 8 years ago.
$500 million in gold is on its way to a terrorist cell.
And the gold needs to disappear.
What's your plan? We gotta steal it mid-flight, 40,000 feet in the air.
We're taking the plane, the whole plane?
It's kind of hard to take half a plane.
Kevin Hart's Cyrus Whitaker leads a criminal crew forced by an Interpol agent played by Gugu Mbatha-Raw to pull off a mid-air heist in Lift. Netflix just released the first trailer for the action thriller, which lands on the streaming service January 12th.
I am now court-ordered to host my very own late-night talk show.
Deck the halls and brace for 'Tis the Grinch holiday talk show. Saturday Night Live's James Austin Johnson channels Dr. Seuss's green, grumpy Christmas curmudgeon for the Wondery podcast, which debuts today. Hanging with the Who's down in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, there's been a crime at KSAT. Someone took a huge bite out of my apple pie. Do you see this whole sector just missing? If only we had a suspect with a motive and with an apparatus to do such a crime.
Well, I'll tell you what.
His back was turned. He was busy.
You snooze, you lose, right?
I guess.
Those pies are part of a very special fall menu at I Declare.
Oh, yes, and Nels Christensen is here to tell us more.
Yes, we have a few offerings down at I Declare for holiday pies. We have a bourbon pecan pie, sorghum brown butter crumble, apple pie, and our chocolate ding dong cake.
Ding dong.
My mouth is watering. Okay, questions all about the pies.
Yep.
The pecan, the apple, throw in a pumpkin. You can only pick one.
You can only pick one, Mike. So scan that QR code and vote for your favorite.
I've got two of them over there. I'm going to be eating them both. So,
knew it.
all right. And those pies would go wonderful with a little bratwurst and sauerkraut up there at Wurstfest. Right, Jen?
That's right. Pumpkin pie for me, by the way. Yes, for over 60 years, people are coming here to Wurstfest to take in beer, bratwurst, and bands. We're going to give you a preview and let you know what you need to know if you're planning your trip to come out here this week. There's 7 days left, guys.
Erica Horn, Paws for Purple Hearts, and you have a special friend here today.
I do. This is Kozlowski. He knows over 100 commands, and this is one of them. Get the medicine. Bring it here. Give. Good boy.
We are
Good
gonna
job. So much more of what that talented dog can do. And a lot more when SA Live continues in just a few.
Yes, good boy.